Hi, Ben. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's all been a bit of a mystery in that we weren't able to tell you what we were here to talk about, but I promised you that it was something which we thought you would find quite interesting. So, Toby, would you like to share?
Sure. As you know, we are, or certainly in my tenure, have been keeping everybody in a position of transparency, and we're very proud that we're not afraid of the truth and we do things up front. So this is the moment where I announce that this fifth season will be my final season at the Ospreys.
Wow, caught me off guard there.
Yeah, well, that makes a change that we're on the
It
front
does,
foot, doesn't
yeah.
it? That makes a change that we are.
Sorry to see you go at the end of the season. I think that goes without saying. Why is now the right time the end of this year?
I came here 5 years ago with a very definite project. I signed during COVID, which had enough trauma in itself. And so I extended my contract almost straight away before we'd even kicked the ball. And it's fair to say that project changed quite a lot while we were here. But, I'm pretty proud about where we find ourselves today through the adversity and finding a way, as everyone knows. But, we're not finished yet, for sure.
You look at what we have achieved since Toby's been here, and I look at the atmosphere in the club as a whole and the playing side in particular. You look at the results that we were getting last season and look at the challenges that we've faced in getting to where we are. He's done an outstanding job, and to get to the knockout stages of both the competitions that we were in with the constraints that we had and continue to have is nothing short of remarkable, and especially with so many players that have come through our academy and been developed through the club. So what Toby said about leaving in a much better place than it was when he came is completely the case. We're in a very strong position to move forward for the next phase.
I leave Welsh rugby a better coach. The three reasons I gave and got the job, was about developing our own players. We've ticked that box. Since I've been here, we've had 15 academy debutants, in the team, in the first team. 10 new Welsh caps. 2 of them have been captained their country. So that speaks well of the cultural stuff that we do. We're very deliberate about developing leadership, developing culture. It doesn't just happen. And the programme that we all work in and contribute to has produced that. The result of measuring like around Welsh derbies in relation to, we win or draw 70% of the time. So that we're competitive, 2 Welsh Shields, etc. Everyone knows what the outcomes that are visible, the notable wins in Europe, the competitiveness. The other 2 things that I set out to do when I came here, making a style of rugby that people feel entertained by and want to come and watch. That's been a slow process because there was a lot of fundamentals we had to get right, but we're now playing a game that looks like the game we want to play, which is great. And the third bit was around the people side, about not just the people in, but the people out, of a sense of pride, a sense of engagement and togetherness from what they've come from to represent the people that we represent. There's only one team that can win a trophy, but there's been a lot of wins here for me and for the team and for the Ospreys in this relatively short period of time, actually, because it started from a pretty low base and we've had to manage a lot of transition and a lot of change. And as a result, we've got a long way down the track, and I think that you need to maintain energy, and that's not my energy. My energy is unrelenting, as you'd expect, and as you know me well enough. And sometimes just change is good. Change is good, and you don't want to outstay your welcome. I've done a lot of the same thing wherever I've gone, which I'm really pleased about, and that proves that actually, hopefully, I know what I'm doing. Hopefully, but at London Irish, 10 years, that was a long project. I had every job into that, and that was a brilliant learning curve and opportunity for me to do that. I then went to Bath, which was a 7-year job. I did a couple of bits in between around, various representative sides, and obviously came to the Ospreys, as I've already outlined, where they were, and got involved with that. And probably this is, short for me, 5 years really, but the time is right because we've managed to get so much right very quickly, and everyone should take a pat on the back for that, because everyone's embraced it, and I'll see what the next opportunity is, and whether that's in rugby, but as I said, I've done some high performance stuff in different sports, which is interesting. So options open, and looking forward to it. I've grown a real affection with certainly the supporters here. We went to the supporters evening, which was the first time, I think, in my entire history of 20 plus years coaching, where someone actually gave me a clap rather than a wet sponge, and some abuse, which was nice, and that a member of the audience said, "I'd like to thank you for what you've done." And obviously they didn't know about this, but I did, which was nice to enjoy that moment. But the biggest thing was that we'd reinstalled hope. That's quite a powerful thing. So when it just happens to be rugby, but when you think about the sentiment of reinstalling or reinforcing or growing hope in anything, that's a good thing.
So Ben, you asked us whether we had succession planned now that that Toby's going into his final year as head coach. So we do, and I'm pleased to introduce you to Mark, who's going to be our new head coach from the 25-26 season, and Justin, who's going to be our defence coach from 25-26.
Well, congratulations to you both. Mark, first of all, it's always a pleasure to see a fellow Built Wales boy in work. How are you feeling about the news?
Oh, I'm really excited. I've loved my year and a bit in my current role, and the opportunity to stay in the organisation and try and help it move forward is a big one. So I'm delighted.
I guess this means this is your last season with the blue scrum cap on.
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct. No, it's obviously loved my time playing, and it's gone super fast. But yeah, there's only so much the body can take as well. And yeah, just hopefully enjoy the last year. Looking forward to having as much fun as we can, and probably trying to learn a little bit as well, ready for next year.
Obviously, Mark, you've had quite a varied CV since you last had a head coach role. You've been in New Zealand, been at Worcester, now this sort of year and a half at the Ospreys. How have those experiences helped you as you sort of prepare to go into that role again?
I did some, village rugby, town rugby coaching, which got me excited about coaching itself whilst I was injured as a player. But you don't get the opportunity to start at the bottom and work your way through and earn your stripes and move up the ladder. You get thrown into the deep end. So my experiences post-playing have been very valuable. There's been some tough moments where you've had to look inside at yourself and your environment, and I've learnt loads through that experience. And it all brings you to a point where you've got a lot of tools in the box that you can now draw upon. And I'm excited about transferring those skills into the Ospreys role next year. I'm excited about working with Justin immensely, because there's a couple of things you need as a coach. You need the capability, and you need the respect of the people who you're delivering it to, and he's got those in abundance, and a huge amount of room to get better. The other coaches that I've worked with this year, Toby has been excellent around allowing me to develop in the role that I'm currently in, giving me great autonomy. He's been somebody that's kept us accountable as well in our own areas, and then my dovetailing with Rich and Duncan and the S&C staff and the analytical staff and the medical staff, that relationship has just grown. And I'm really excited about taking those relationships forward and hopefully adding to what's, as I said before, what's been a really good, short but amazing Ospreys tenure.
And when you were helping out on the Grow, however many years ago, did you sort of see yourself becoming one day the head coach of Wales's most successful region?
No, I didn't. I was doing it because I wanted something to take my mind off rehabbing from injury, and I was doing it as something to to keep me connected to the game, give me some escapism around the monotony of rehabbing. And what I found was a love in helping people get better at rugby players, and a lot of them were my friends. You know, the way you have to coach a village or a town rugby player compared to a professional rugby is night and day. But the skills required, as you know, connecting with the people is exactly the same.
So Toby was saying, sat right there, that one of the things he's proud of is he's brought hope. Just what does this opportunity mean to sort of carry on building on that hope in the years to come?
When the Ospreys started, they were winning trophies and being successful. I remember I was in the academy and it was all about us winning the Champions Cup. It wasn't even about the league back then or anything. You know, if we can get back to those days, that would be pretty special. And we're heading back there. I'm not saying that we're going to be chasing the Champions Cup this year now before you start twisting it. But for example, we were in the playoffs last year. You could see us giving a good buzz around the area, which is all about.
And Toby always refers to you as the man with the blue cap. That changes as of next year. You're no longer.
He can wear it when he's coaching if he wants to. There's no problem with that. He gets the best out of it.
Have to find a new nickname.
Turn up in the stands room on the laptop like that. Can finally be hung up and retired in the house with me. So yeah, no problem with that.